Hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name's Tim Murdoch. It's a happy time.
And my name's Matt. You keep cutting me off, damn it.
Well, it's my goal.
You know what? We're switching this up. I'm going to start. I'm going to be like, hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time.
Okay, let me start over. But
okay, go.
Okay. Hi, welcome to Happy Horror Time.
And I'm Matt Emmert.
Oh, you got me good.
How about this? Hi, welcome to Happy Horror Time. That's Tim Murdoch. And then you say
that is Matt Emmer.
And that's Matt Emmer? Matt Emmer?
He's a total biatch.
Oh, I thought you were going to say babe.
Oh, he's a total babe.
He's a total biatch. Happy late birthday, Tim.
Thank you so much, Matt.
This is our, our 200th episode came out last week, which was, God, can you believe we're over 200 now? This is 201. 201, everyone. If you are a true fan, I want you to go back and listen to 1 through 199.
Oh, that first one.
In order.
Oh, my goodness.
I know it's crazy that it's been a great long ride. Speaking of long rides, Tim, how was your birthday?
It was a great birthday. Birthday. Sometimes like my words come out before I'm thinking or something like that. Birthday. So I had a great birthday. My brother just happened to be my oldest brother and straight. Not that it matters, but people know
Trevor.
Trevor. He was in town for business. So I was very lucky. I got to spend the whole day with him on my actual birthday. So I had a family member in town.
And then we went out to dinner and we went to the bars.
What was the name of the restaurant we went to?
Bar. We went to the Henry. And was that in Beverly Hills or was that?
Beverly Hills adjacent.
It was really nice. It was really good. I had the short rib and it was good. And the drinks were good too.
Thank you. I was drunk.
Thank you. I made them.
Thank you, Trevor, for your generosity picking up the bill.
Trevor picked up the bill for all of us. And there were 25,000 people there.
I have a lot of friends.
Tim invited everyone he knows. No, it was very nice.
It was very intimate.
Your brother needs to visit more often.
I know.
And then we can go to the Henry.
When you hear the words, the Henry, do you think of Punky Brewster's dad, Henry?
Oh my God, I remember.
Every time I turn around, I see the girl that turns my frown around. I actually don't know the words.
Is that the song? Standing there. And remember, wasn't her dog beautiful golden retriever named Brandon?
Yes.
Oh my God, how did I pull that one out?
After
Brandon Walsh, even though that came later.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Soleil Moonfry. I remember thinking that was the best name ever.
She was in Pumpkinhead 1 or 2.
She was?
Yeah, Soleil Moonfry did a pumpkin.
I don't think I've seen it. She made a pumpkin pie.
Soleil Moonfry made a pumpkin pie.
I don't think I've seen any of the pumpkin heads. I know that is a series. We're gonna have to do a bonus episode for that.
One is filmed at the Jarvis house where we went.
Oh yeah,
visited.
they did. Yes, they did mention that.
I don't know if it's the Soleil Moonfry version.
Soleil Moonfry was also in one of the Piranhas, right?
Yeah, the 1995 one, which I'm gonna. I'm not going to put this eloquently. I think it sucked.
Oh, well, you know what?
But if Soleil Moonfry wants to come on and talk about it, she can.
People don't want your filtered opinion, Tim. They want your true opinion.
It's hard for me because
you hear that, Soleil Moonfry? Soleil Moonfry.
Oh,
Soleil Moonfry.
Her.
Oh, I know. I do love her. And what is she doing today? Didn't she try to do that Punky Booster reboot with Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Oh, no, it was made. I watched one episode. And I was like, never again.
You're like, every time I turn this off. Oh.
I'm trying to put out only good things in the world.
Well, but the best part about Tim's birthday was that he wore a T-shirt. He wore a T-shirt from Happy Birthday to Me, which was perfect and on brand.
With the kebab in the mouth.
The kebab in the mouth, which wasn't even one of the kills.
Yeah,
which we talked about.
The studio put that in there.
The studio sent these. And you had put a nice jacket over. No, it was fun. And, because it wasn't like a milestone birthday, so we didn't do anything crazy.
No one does anything crazy for the 47th. And if you tell me, I'll tell you it's a lie.
Tim is now a mature 47-year-old person.
I don't know about that.
Happy 47,
Thank
Tim,
you so much.
or former 47. And April was a big month for us, obviously, because we had our 200th episode. We hope you enjoyed us doing things a little differently and talking about an old movie. God, isn't it sad to say old when it's Scream?
I know.
But I mean,
it's 20. Yeah.
It's so weird to me. Like when I think of Halloween, I think old movie, but Scream. But it's 27 years old.
Yeah.
No, 28 this year. Oh my God.
My
96.
friend, how old is Peter Brackey, the one that wrote the Crystal Lake book?
You tell me.
When he tells me that he saw all the Friday 13th the first time around, that's
even the original.
I think so.
Wow.
No Chick-fil-A sauce? sauce?
No Chick-fil-A sauce? Go on TikTok, search no Chick-fil-A sauce.
Right. Oh, Matt
Best
got me
thing
a
ever.
beautiful t-shirt that says, no Chick-fil-A sauce?
And another one that says,
let's talk about the husband.
if you've heard this podcast, you hear Tim will drop those random quotes just like
it's
in
such
out
a
of nowhere.
Trigger. It's a
let's
trigger.
talk about the husband is from the famous Amsterdam fight on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Kim Richards.
And no Chick-fil-A sauce is like a recent trend of this girl
I want to say
saying
her name's Gina, but
she's just saying it funny and got recorded and it went viral. And it's like the dumbest shit, but it's so funny.
Yeah, I love her.
And now Tim has a t-shirt with her face on it.
No Chick-fil-A sauce?
Just for saying no Chick-fil-A sauce. Like, why can't we just say something
well,
dumb
she go,
and get
no lemonade?
Oh, no lemonade. And she's like, no Chick-fil-A sauce?
Yeah,
and then
but
she
her
moves, her eyes are huge and like she does this funny face, so it's worth it. Go on TikTok, search no Chick-fil-A sauce, and you'll probably be like, this isn't that funny.
Yeah, you'll be like, you two are dum-dums.
Dum-dums. You guys, well, and then what else? I feel like April was big for us because we had the Devon Sawa interview. We had our 200th episode. We had our interview with the Hell House LLC Origins girls, the sweetest girls. We hope we get to talk with them again.
I watched the movie, was it Carmichael?
The Carmichael Manor.
Yeah.
I watched it multiple times. It was really good.
I wear the mask when I watch it.
To me, like number 1 and number 4 are the best Hell House LLC movies, but all of them are good. And it's like, it's funny because I know each new sequel, it's not like reinventing the wheel, but if you love a movie and they give you more of what you love, what's the problem with that,
and
right?
Speaking of not reinventing the wheel, you and I saw the movie Sting.
Yes, we finally saw Sting in our little after show, which you can get if you sign up to be a patron. We do like now a monthly after show where you just talk about stuff.
Deep detail.
But we talked about like the trailer and how we were interested in seeing Sting, this new Spider movie. It's Spider-Man.
I mean, the whole movie's about a spider. And usually I don't like CGI anything, but this I thought was very well done.
It was fun. It felt PG-13, even though the violence made it R, because it's very like a family-friendly horror.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anything like, oh my God, terrifying. What they
had going for them in this film was they used the spider sporadically.
They did sporadically.
Clueless.
Clueless. Oh, see, every day I'm going to use a new word, and I hope.
Don't use it sporadically.
Wait, no, that was good, Tim. I hope not sporadically. And if you don't know the Clueless reference,
R.I.P. Brittany Murphy.
Oh my God, that's true.
Oh God, I didn't
we're
mean
getting
to bring
old.
it down.
Like when people from our favorite movies are dying, that's not a good thing. And now not even all the friends are alive. Hey everyone, I hope you've been uplifted by this. I know we're talking about deaths. Speaking of deaths, though, because the movie we are going to be concentrating on today is Abigail, and one of the cast members died like right in the middle of filming. I didn't know that
until the very end of the movie when it said like dedicated to. And
it's Angus Cloud, and he's known for being on Euphoria. And the reason I wasn't familiar with him is because I do not watch Euphoria.
I feel like I missed the boat. Apparently, it's a fantastic show, and I love the Sweeney girl, and I love the Saltburn guy.
I mean, I've heard it's just like it's high school kids by like doing the worst shit ever.
Right. I'm
like it's no 90210, but apparently he was good on that. And he luckily what I read about this film is that Angus Cloud had finished filming his scenes right before the actors' strike started last year. And then during the strike, he passed away unexpectedly at 25, but luckily they were already done with the scene, so there's no like CGI him or anything. Like they had just fortunately finished filming his scenes, and so when they went back to film the other parts, he was already done.
That is heartbreaking. Only 25?
25. I mean, and can you imagine you're in the middle of filming with them and then someone dies like during the production, and not to mention a really young guy who was just at the beginning of his career. So R.I.P. Angus Cloud, but the film is dedicated to him, which is nice. And and he got a really good substantial role in this film, so it's not like you would even know, because again he filmed all of his scenes. He was done with his part, but it's sad. But let's transition away from sad stuff and talk about this movie, which we had a ton of fun with.
And it opened on my birthday.
Yes, Abigail. Now we've been seeing trailers forever. In fact, I remember when I first heard about this movie like a year ago, I heard Radio Silence, as in the team behind Scream 5 and 6 and Ready or Not, was doing another horror movie, but it's going to be
not.
Here I come.
I'm gonna find you.
That vibrato is beautiful.
I went to the Christina Aguilera of singing.
The Christina Aguilera of singing, not school.
Right, yeah.
Not school, just the Christina.
Just her school.
Just Christina Aguilera of singing.
She said, no makeup? Nope. You have to wear makeup.
She's like, I'm a genie in a bottle. Take it,
You
Tim.
know what? There's such a feud between her and Britney.
Okay, 1999. Anyway, Abigail. So I had heard that Radio Silence was doing a monster movie with Melissa Barrera, and I was like, oh my God, this sounds awesome. But then when I heard monster movie, I assumed it was going to be like old school, like Frankenstein. But when you think about it, this is a monster. What I heard was that this was kind of very loosely based off of a really old movie called Dracula's Daughter. Now, who fucking knew Dracula had a daughter?
I actually like that title, but you know what? I guess Abigail works
been used.
as well.
1936 Universal film called
everyone
Dracula's.
Has seen it. Everyone knows it and seen it.
I just want to know, did Dracula have a son, and was he hot?
I hope so. Wasn't Dracula's sons all hot? Well, was that Wes Craven's Dracula 2000?
Oh God, that's a bunch of movies that I haven't seen. I saw Bram Stoker's Dracula.
There were sequels to that.
In '92. I did not need sequels. It was one Dracula.
I think they put Wes Craven's name on it, and I think he did very little with it.
I can see how they would do that. But anyway, so this was like very loosely based off of Dracula's Daughter, really loose, because this one stars a little ballerina girl. And by the way, before we even start, I want to call out the girl who plays Abigail in this movie, because I had not seen her before.
She's British, right?
Her Irish. Her name is Alicia Ware. Apparently she was in not Alicia Witt from Urban Legend. Alicia Ware from Matilda, which of course I hadn't seen, so I didn't know her. But like, as you know, especially Tim, who hates kids.
I don't. Let me clarify
usually
this.
If a kid is not delivering in their acting, I know you hate it. But this girl nailed it.
Right, I agree. And kids do not scare me unless I have
good
to babysit
actors.
them.
Well, unless you have to, you're like, unless they're mine.
Right.
No, but what I just want to say before we even get into this is that why I was so impressed by the girl who played Abigail, because she's young, is that she was able to do the innocent little nice girl turn into just batshit crazy angry villain so well. And that's so tough to do as an adult, but as a kid, to be able to play both sides of that coin and do it well, I was just very impressed.
Me
I don't
too.
know why.
Her performance was so fantastic. And again, if you've ever listened to any of these podcasts, when kids are used for scares, I'm never scared.
But also if their acting is bad, and when you watch, for some reason in the 80s, I feel like they didn't care about kid actors. They were just like, we gotta do.
I mean, you do need kids
and
to tell a story.
Like, hey, how are you? No, but I mean, I was just thinking, like, whoever cast her, because obviously that was the pivotal role. And I'm not demeaning any of the other performances, because the whole cast is really great and strong. But if you don't have a strong Abigail, this movie would flop. It just would.
I agree. I hope it's making money.
Well, in its opening weekend, it made $10 million, which I know doesn't sound like a ton because we're so used to these humongous blockbuster openings. But for horror and for a low budget horror, it's pretty good.
Low budget? It looked like a big budget.
I mean, it depends what you say. I think it was like 25, 28 million. Is that low budget or no? I guess that's still mid budget.
I know nothing,
maybe.
So
I know it's like, all my mid budget films are about 50 million.
I usually, like when I'm dealing with the mills,
Well, I don't know. It made 10 million over its opening weekend, so it didn't.
I think word of mouth will make it bigger.
That's what I think too. No, word of mouth will make it bigger. No, but I've been seeing a little bit like on X. It's so hard not to call it Twitter. On Twitter,
when you say X, I feel like you're talking like a porn site.
I know. On Pornhub, they are talking this movie.
I don't use Pornhub.
Oh, really? What do you use, Tim?
Not that.
I use my memory and love.
My memory and love and my instincts.
Sparkles and
like maybe
some rainbows and
yeah.
You like I just keep answering for you.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Tim, how dare it, Tim? Tim, are your fantasies based off of reality?
God, no.
You're like, I'm in there and I'm fighting Abigail. No, that'd be creepy.
No, Abigail. The one. Problem. No, I don't even know if it's a problem. I wish I wouldn't have seen the trailer for this film, because like I knew Abigail, the little girl, because I feel like that's a big, I don't want to say a plot twist because they give it away in the trailer, but I wanted it to be.
I
just wish I wouldn't have seen the trailer.
I get what you're saying, but like they kind of, if we didn't know that she was the vampire, I'd be like, how do we even know this is a vampire movie? Like,
that's true.
I will say they did save one of the twists for later, which we'll go into when we go through the plot. And okay, so just to kind of set up this movie and it's
scene, Matt.
Yeah, so like we open on a camera. No, but it's like we're watching Abigail, this young girl, doing a ballet to Swan Lake. So it's like, and if you've seen any of the trailers,
did it remind you of the 1983 movie called Curtains?
Did they do a ballet in there?
No, but it was just a lady doing a monologue in front of a curtain.
No, so it didn't.
That's all I thought
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
Vampire versus hag masked killer? No. I mean, in terms of, well, that's the mask that they get. Like, isn't it funny? They call the mask in Curtains the old hag mask.
That doesn't seem politically correct.
Doesn't seem politically correct. I know. Anyway, so while the credits are going, she's doing a ballet, which is perfect because it sets the scene because she's in New York. You can tell she's rich. She when she's going home, she gets into like a limo or something, right?
Someone opens the door for her.
Yeah, this is not your normal childhood. She goes home to her beautiful house. Oh, Tim did ballet. Tim, Swan Lake, how was it?
Oh gosh, my performance in particular, I was probably the best.
What part did you play in Swan Lake?
The Nutcracker. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the lake.
The lake.
I played the swan in the lake.
Yeah, I played both roles. Yeah. I really played every role.
Oh my God. There's nothing you can't do. Anyway, so Abigail goes home and we see there's like this like very high-tech, almost SWAT team of kidnappers that are coming in to kidnap this poor little girl. And I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about each because we'll be referring to them. There's the main girl who they all get like fake names because they're not supposed to tell each other their real names because they're kidnappers.
Right. After they kidnap Abigail.
Yeah.
They go, well, I mean, do you want to go over the names first?
Oh, yeah. So they go, and we'll just give you the names they go by in the movie, which isn't their real names, but it's the names we know them by. So there's Melissa Barrera, who everyone remembers from Scream 5 and 6 because she played Sam Carpenter, the main girl. Billy Loomis's daughter.
Anything else besides Scream 5
She was in The Heights. It was like a musical. That was like her big thing and then Scream like really put her on the map for scary movies.
But not The Heights from 1992 with Ray, who pushed Tori Spelling down the stairs.
She probably was like barely born in 92.
I don't think she was.
I think she's 30? In early 30s, I think.
She's gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Her face. I love her face.
So she plays Joey, and you already can tell that she is the one a little bit more of a conscience than the other kidnappers because you find out that she has a son of her own, but you also find out that she used to be like a drug addict. It's revealed that she used to be a drug addict, and I think she used to work as like a nurse for the army.
Right,
like a medic or something like that. So that's Joey, that's Melissa Barrera. So there's also the other main guy played by the very hot Dan Stevens. If you don't know from I was about to say Hello Abby, Downtown Abbey.
Hello Mary Lou, prom night 2.
from Downton Abbey. He was in The Gift. Do you remember? This is blonde. You probably didn't even recognize because his accent is so not British in this. Dan Stevens.
Wait, The Gift? Who's in that one?
Not the Jason Bateman one. Or sorry, not The Gift. Not The Gift. It's a different horror movie with a G. Oh my God, this is going to kill me. Now I'm going to have to look it up.
That's fine.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
No.
So,
oh wait. So Dan. Okay. So Dan Stevens was in a horror movie called. No, he wasn't in. Oh, well, he was in a horror movie called Kill Switch. He was in Beauty and the Beast, but he was in. Oh, no. The Guest. Not The Gift, The Guest. Yes, he was in the horror movie The Guest. I knew it was close.
But I was not turned on by anyone in this film.
Well, he's playing, so he plays Frank, who's a former, like, police detective.
Right.
He's very, like, he speaks almost mob bossy. He's very, like, the one in control. He's angry a lot.
But the way this comes about is the girl from Scream... What's her name? Joey. She's the one that gives everyone their.
Well, because she has some sort of
They like better.
It's like fifth sense.
Here's $100.
No, she has some sort of like she can just like good intuition. Yeah,
you owe me a Coke.
Oh, you a Coke. So she knows she can just tell who everyone's background by how they are. So we also have Catherine Newton plays Sammy, who's like this young hacker who comes from a wealthy family, and you'll remember Catherine Newton. She was in Paranormal Activity 4. She was in Lisa Frankenstein this year. No, I have not seen Lisa Frankenstein.
I watched it all by myself.
I didn't have much interest because it just looked kooky and dumb.
I did not. It had one good scene. I might have talked about it in a prior podcast, but I'm
not against seeing it. There are some movies I'm like, that looks awful. It didn't look awful.
I think in 20 years it will find its way.
Look, this is how I'll watch it. Years. If I'm like looking at streaming and there's nothing else to watch and Lisa Frankenstein comes up, I will watch it. I promise.
I wanted the film to be brighter. You know the way like Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion is like a bright, fun movie.
Yeah, but isn't this about a zombie coming back to life?
Yeah, so I guess it's darker.
Yeah, like I don't think.
Anyway,
woo, bright colors, zombie.
I want bright colors with zombies.
Yeah, well, she's great. She plays Sammy, and she's kind of this little bit ditzy, a little bit flighty, but at the same time incredibly smart because she's a hacker. Then we also have, we don't hear a lot about him, but this guy they call Rickles. He was like a sniper for the Marines, and
he has chemistry with Joey.
Yes, he does have chemistry, and there's one part where he pulls her in close, and it looks like they're going going to kiss? And were you like, what the fuck's going on in this scene?
I thought, okay, well, they're just about to kiss. I was like, do they have history, or is it that chemistry just that strong?
And totally left out, like, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's a really weird character choice that I'm sure the director had reason for, but like, it's very weird because they're just talking about how, these other people on this team are so dumb, like, we'll stick together. And then he pulls her in and they're so close to each other, and you're like,
are they? Aren't they not?
Supposed to have never met. And then nothing happens because he gets killed. Anyway, sorry.
Literally right after that.
Yeah. So, and then the last two people, there's also he's kind of known as like the dim-witted muscle guy. His name's Peter. He used to be like work for the mob, and he's huge, like muscles, big muscles, and he's played. Oh, you thought he was hot?
No.
Oh, Peter's played by Kevin Durand, who's been in tons of shit, by the way.
Right? Yes, he did look familiar, but in this particular movie, I thought he looked like Elon Musk.
Ew.
Did you see it?
No, but now I'm thinking of his face and thinking maybe not his body.
I mean, I'm not
Definitely
trying to be
not his body.
I'm just saying I thought he looked like Elon Musk.
But I would not say that's a compliment.
I mean,
guess it's
Amber Heard and him had sex.
Oh, but I mean,
I'm just
Amber Heard. Without passing judgment,
no judgment.
Amber Heard. I've never seen Elon Musk as sexy. I thought Kevin Durand was pretty sexy in this because he's a big.
Again,
but his muscles were a little big. They were a little big.
Usually, when you and I watch a film, there's someone in the film that I find handsome or sexy.
I'm shocked. Dan Stevens is so attractive. I am so shocked at you because in this movie he has glasses and he's angry.
Is he the main guy in The Guest?
He's the main guy in The Guest.
Okay, like I think he's absolutely beautiful
After
in The
this,
Guest.
if you are a gay man or a woman or just a man who can appreciate male beauty, look up Dan Stevens and you'll see pictures of him. He is very handsome.
I totally enjoyed The Guest, and I own The Guest.
Oh, you are, and you are the guest here. So anyway, and the last character is the one played by Angus Clown.
I love Angus Clown.
Played by Angus Cloud, and that is Dean. And he is like, all Melissa Barrera says about him is that he's kind of a sociopath, but he's like the driver. Apparently he's a really good getaway driver.
On little Catherine Newton.
Yeah, he hits on her. But anyway, so they all kidnap Abigail, and Melissa Barrera, Joey is the one that wants him to be careful with her because she's a kid. All these other people are like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
And we get introduced, they take her up to some mansion in the middle of nowhere.
This was interesting. Like they took the little girl from one mansion to the
another.
other.
Yeah.
So when I first saw the trailer, because you and I go to the movies a lot.
Yes.
And obviously
this trailer's
all horror
played
films.
before every horror movie.
And even the films that I saw that weren't horror films, I saw Abigail. So I feel like I saw the Abigail trailer on the big screen.
So you knew Swan Lake
20 times.
Oh, of course. I would say too.
And it got to the point where I saw the trailer so much, I was like, do I even want to see this?
Oh, that's so funny. I was always interested because I knew it was radio silence. And I mean, come on, they did Scream 5 and 6, which I love. They did Ready or Not, which I love. Are you the one that doesn't like Ready or Not?
I don't like Ready or Not,
it's
but
okay.
I do like
it's
Scream 5 and 6.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love all of them, so I knew I was going to love this.
I don't know. I think I spoke to you right when we walked out of the movie theater and everyone's like, Ready or Not, Ready or Not. And I was like, they were like, Ready or Not.
They're like, Ready or Not, here I come. We're playing schoolyard games, yeah.
I liked Ready or Not up to the point where there was the supernatural element, and I was like, I don't like it.
Oh, so you would love vampires then, because that's totally real.
For some reason,
vampires you can take.
Free pass.
It is. I will say when we get to it, when they find out she's a vampire, only one person actually questions if that's real. Like the rest of them are just like, oh my god, she's a vampire. And like again, as a person living in reality, my first thought would be like, that's not possible.
Well, the script was written in a way where. Because they're in that line of work, and they've seen it all, so they're like, this okay.
Yeah, so they take her to this mansion, and this guy who is hired all them named Lambert comes out, and by the way,
any relation to Adam.
Played. If you watched Breaking Bad, and I don't think you did, he played Gus, a really important part of Breaking Bad. So I immediately recognized him. Love this guy. The actor's name is. Oh God, Giancarlo Esposito. I hope
any relation to the Esposito that was in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer?
Probably not. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I think I did. But so he tells them that you've all been hired. You just kidnapped this girl, and she has a very rich, powerful father. We're going to get him to pay millions of dollars. Just need to keep her for 24 hours. But basically, do not talk to her. Do not tell each other anything about yourselves. You're stuck in here for 24 hours. That's all you need to do, and you get $7 million. And they're all, that's fucking cool.
So what? It's very interesting that.
I mean, sorry, not the kidnapping for ransom is cool, but what I meant is that they don't have to do anything. They just have to have her there.
Well, they have to stay alive.
But
they don't know.
They don't know. They think she's some little ballerina.
Knowing that we know the ending, at this point in the movie,
Are you like, why are you paying me $7 million for this?
No, the guy says, like, I'm going to give you fake names, but if I'm going to reveal the ending. They're lunch to the little girl.
Well, but they just think, oh, he's trying to be very... Okay, so...
Why can't they say who they really are? They're all going to die.
She is the daughter of a very powerful, probably, they think, mob or drug cartel guy that would probably try and kill them if he knew who they were.
What's the name of that vampire movie that's very, very famous?
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Fright Night.
Fright Night.
Interview with a Vampire. Should I keep going?
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's the one I can't say. How do you say it again?
Nos. Farah. Two. Nosferatu. Well, God. How did you say all syllables? And then, dude, that's like, it reminds me of Family Guy when he can't say Cool Whip, right?
Abigail's dad was going to be him.
Oh, it was going to be Nosferatu?
Can they connect that? Is that a world?
I mean, vampires don't age or die, so yes, I think you can get them. Anyway, so
food for thought.
So they're all, that's when they all start drinking, and that's when Melissa Barrera does her little thing where she's telling all of them who they are. And I will say, it's like brilliantly written because it doesn't feel forced, but the audience gets to know them without getting to, do you know what I mean? It's like, if they were just like, hi, I'm this person, I do this, that would be forced. No, but they make it into a game and she guesses it.
As many movies as you and I have seen, and getting to the point where they all do talk, they did set it up in a way that was
natural. Yeah.
It wasn't forced like the way the housewives go on a trip to Ireland.
And they're like, hey, what should we talk about? Oh, let's talk about the drama that happened last week. Yeah, it's totally producers. Yeah. Well, we also find out Sammy, I keep saying Sammy, it's Joey. Melissa Barrera is the only one who's supposed to talk with the girl, Abigail. And because when she goes in there, she feels like she already feels, because Abigail's the same age as her son, and Abigail's trying to appeal to her. And she even she loosens her handcuffs. She takes her blindfold off.
Promise, which comes in later.
Yeah, Joey does a pinky promise with her, saying, I'm sure you're not going to get hurt as long as you aren't a crazy fucking vampire. No. And she promises this, but then as she's walking out, and this was in the trailer, so not a big reveal, but the girl says, Joey, I'm so sorry for what's going to happen to you. And if anybody said that to me, I would be, excuse me, what? She just kind of walks out troubled, but she tells everyone, and they're like, who is this girl's dad? So of course, the asshole of the group, who's hot, Dan Stevens, Frank, goes in there and with a gun puts it on her head and says, who is your dad? Who is your dad? What is going to happen? And he says, my dad is Frank Lazar, who's this huge, I guess, New York mob guy or something like that. Did they say what he is?
Yeah. And so apparently the guy from The Guest, the hot one that is not hot in this film, has the realization that he used to be he was a crooked cop, right?
Well, Frank was. Yeah. But
so but he was involved with that guy.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's Christoph Lazar. He's some crime lord, and I guess now they're all oh my god, this is big, and they're like, we don't want to stay here because this is the type of crime lord. They all tell stories that he's known for hunting down his enemies and ripping them apart. Of course, at this point they don't know there's a vampire involved.
So doesn't he open the door and it's gated?
That's when they decide, all these people are this is not worth $7 million because we're going to be dead. This guy's going to come after us. So they try to leave and they realize, nope, they're stuck in this place.
It's a metal gate. No one can get out or in.
Oh, or in it. It's some sort of security thing.
But the windows weren't covered yet, right?
I think with wooden planks.
But not yet. Not yet. Something triggered it.
Yeah, so they are stuck in this house, so they cannot leave. And they're like, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to just have to wait it out and hopefully whatever.
And then this is the scene that was really bizarre. They started playing Naked Twister.
No, they did not.
Yeah, to kill the time.
They did. They're like, hey, right hand on dick.
Right.
And we were like, what are we watching? Radio silence.
It was different. And then they all had plastic vampire teeth, and they wore them.
And they're like, hey, fangs up.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Okay, well, I imagine
so then we get to a funny scene. I will say another standout for me in this movie was Catherine Newton, because she plays this character so funny. Again, she's kind of ditzy, but she's also the hacker, so she's smart. But she's watching a movie and Angus Clown oh my god, I said clown again. What is wrong with me?
It's Cloud.
Okay, but in all fairness,
Clown is similar to Cloud.
Exactly. Okay, Mr. Clown. No, Mr. Cloud. Angus Cloud scares her, and her reaction is just hilarious.
I don't ever remember her being funny in any other movie, but this was genuinely funny.
Oh, I mean, I have not seen her in comedic-ish roles.
I mean,
but
Lisa
she
Frankenstein, I wasn't laughing, but she
is so funny in this. And she is pissed at him, and he just is like, whatever. And he goes to drink. But that's when we get the first kill. And we don't see it. We just see poor Dean getting dragged off. But then, and another brilliant reaction from Catherine Newton, she comes and she finds him sitting in this room, and his head is gone.
Yeah, well,
like his head is ripped off. Oh, yeah,
such a good way.
It just falls off, and she, of course, freaks out.
She's holding the head.
Yeah, and she tells everyone, and they are like, oh my God. They don't immediately think it's the little girl. They think she's still in the room. They're like, oh my God, the crime boss, her dad found us. He sent his guys he's ripping us apart. So they're going to like go and kill the girl. Remember, they're about to kill the girl, and then Joey stops them.
Well, there was a point where the guy was going to punch her.
He was going to, when they kidnapped her, he was going to punch her, and then they were going to go kill her, which I'm just like, if you believe this is the girl's dad seeking vengeance by doing this, like, why can I guess they figured, well, we're going to kill your girl because you're going to kill us anyway.
Well, can we talk about Catherine Newton's outfit?
Oh my God. How about her hair? It was big.
It was big. And
that's got to be a wig,
she's
right?
She's like a cute plaid skirt. She looked very 80s. I didn't mind.
She did look 80s. No, I thought she looked very cute. I love that she was a hacker because she didn't look like what you would think a hacker was. Of course.
Did you see it?
Back in 94 or something.
Was it that old?
It's old.
Damn.
We're old.
Damn.
Damn, girl. Anyway, so they go to, and they think they're going to kill the little girl, but Joey stops them. But then in the big, beautiful transformation scene, Abigail does a little, like, almost like a ballerina move and transforms into a vampire and just starts.
Well, don't they shoot her in the head?
Well, yes. Right as soon as she, like, you see her fangs, they shoot her in the head and she goes down and she rises back up Michael Myers style.
She wipes her forehead like, you ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah, and they all, like, there is no way. So they have to, like, run and close a door and, like, get her out. And they're like, oh, my God. And that's when they have these, like, funny conversations about, oh, my God, she's a vampire. And that's the part when only one of them, the kind of dim-witted guy, Peter's the only one who's like, vampires aren't real. The rest of them are like, okay, how do we kill him? Garlic, a steak. Did you notice everybody just went with it?
Catherine Newton runs into the kitchen and she brings out onions. And they're like, it's garlic.
They're like, that is garlic. She's like, I don't know. I don't cook. And I can identify with
it. It took me 30 seconds. I was like, wait, onions don't do anything. It is garlic.
It is garlic.
Who has garlic?
Here's the reason why I totally identify, even though we do sometimes cook, but like garlic, the way it's covered, even though it's much smaller, it can look a little bit like onion. So I just thought that was such a funny part.
I'm not a fan of either one.
Of onion or garlic?
No.
I love garlic.
Well,
you can put garlic on anything and I will lick that shit up, Tim.
Okay, ew. I'm going to vomit. No, I'm not going to vomit. You know, teach your own.
Salt burn.
So when onions happen to be on a sandwich, I will eat them.
But you don't like knowing they're on a sandwich.
Right. Like, I mean, you have to trick me.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
I like to be tricked.
You like to be tricked. So they grab everything. They grab like a crucifix. They grab a wooden stake. They grab actual garlic.
Oh, and they take, what's this called, Matt?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. They turn the pool cue into a steak.
Yes.
Yeah, I just said that.
You did?
Yes, I said a steak.
Okay.
Maybe you thought I meant like a New York steak.
Yeah. No, I didn't think that. I thought you meant like Buffy the Vampire steaks, but you...
Well, sort of. They made it into a steak. Right. It's bigger, though. It is.
That's what she said.
Let's go. So... Joey stays behind with Rickles. That's when they have that weird kind of like close scene where you think they're going to kiss. And the other three go to try to fight Abigail. And there's a really funny scene where Abigail doesn't kill any of the three, but she attacks each one of them, and everything they have proves completely useless. Like the big guy, Peter, with all the muscle, has this little cross, and she uses it to just keep stabbing him over and over again.
She stabbed him over and over and over.
Like
and I thought,
90
is this
times.
His demise? Like,
I thought so, but then I was like, it was such a small little cross that it would like if I took a pin and stabbed you 90 times.
There was so much blood, and rightfully so.
Yeah. And then Catherine Newton gets knocked over, and then Frank gets the stake put through his leg.
But it's interesting that I want to call her Gabriel, but her name is Abigail.
Gabriel. God, Gabriel. Totally different movie.
But she just punches Catherine Newton in the stomach. I was like, okay.
I know, like why aren't you killing them?
I was like, everyone else she didn't really get roughed up.
No, not roughed up. And I will say, like, she could have easily killed all three of them, but I was like, the movie's too early to kill them.
Yeah,
so I think they would probably explain it like she's just playing with them right now.
She is. And she does have that really famous line. I like to play with my food.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, then we're back at Joey and Rickles. After they have that weird moment where they're almost going to kiss, Rickles gets just mauled. Like his face gets ripped off and you don't see it. You just see Joey.
He stands there awkwardly.
Yeah, and she comes
walks
up
over
behind
and
him.
He drops dead,
and he is just ripped apart. So it was weird because the first two murders of this movie, you don't see them happen, but because they want to keep it mysterious.
A big chunk of his neck is gone.
Neck and face. It was like the side of his face. So he's dead. So anyway, they are like realizing, oh my God, none of these things we know that work on vampires are going to work. But then they're like, how about the tranquilizer we used when we kidnapped her? She was actually asleep when we tranquilized her. So let's get her then. So they are able to finally, after like a scuffle, what's her name? Melissa Barrera is able to get the tranquilizer in her, and they put her in like a cage. And this scene might have been my favorite scene.
Before she's in the cage, doesn't she get a bite out of Catherine Newton's arm?
Yes, very important part.
And before Catherine Newton gets that bite, she falls into a pool of bodies.
Oh, wait. Was that then? Yes. I think I forget exactly. Timeline's a little iffy, but yes.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
They're all. What's funny about this movie is they split up a lot, and they even say it. They'll say split up.
They should not. In a horror movie, I never think splitting up is a good idea, but in this movie, they do it like twice.
And they actually say, let's split up.
Which is so stupid. If there's a vampire that's unkillable, you stick together.
Yes. Okay, first, yes, Sammy, Catherine Newton, gets bit on the arm, and she's like really worried, like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? And they don't know, but she seems okay. But then when they split up, there's a great part where Catherine Newton, she's trying to like find a secret way through the house. They're trying to see if they can maybe get out or find an exit. And she falls into this swimming pool that is filled with like decomposing bodies.
Ew.
It's very much like Poltergeist when she falls a swimming pool.
It's so gross. And I actually thought later on in the movie, there's going to be a big joke about her stinking.
Well, what's funny
no
is
one says anything.
First off, I don't know what she was covered with it, but her performance is so great because she's freaking out. She's trying to get out, and it's this big pool, so she has to like go through all these bodies. She's covered, and it looks like either mud or shit, and it's all over her. And she gets out, and it's like, remember, she's already been bitten. She's covered in all this shit. But so finally, they're able to tranquilize Abigail. They put her in a cage, and then this part is where I thought Alicia Ware, who played Abigail, really shined, because she wakes up and she has this long monologue where she basically tells all of them she knows exactly who they are,
their real identities,
their real names, their real identities. And Melissa Barrera was pretty close on most of them, but you also, and this is kind of the twist, she says that this was all her idea, that this kidnapping was planned by her and her dad so she could just have a hunting ground of people who have wronged her father, meaning
because
Lambert.
Because in the grand tradition of vampires live forever. So this little girl got on the internet and just had some fun.
So Lambert, the guy who supposedly hired them, works for her dad and hired all or got all of them together because she tells them each one of them wronged her dad in some way, and she explains, I can't remember every fucking reason, but it's like something.
No, well, they're all kind of like it's kind of like the movie Saw. Like each person has like these what kind of past?
History, like, or some sort of related
with a crime or something they've done.
Bad. Yes, something they've done bad related to it. And she calls it out. But the way she delivers these lines, because she's gone from little innocent girl to like, I'm gonna fuck you up person, and she's great when she delivers it. And all of these people have had kind of shitty lives, like in some way. And she calls them all out, and they're like, wow. But they're like, well, you're in the cage, whatever. And they all kind of leave Frank with her. Well, you first think that Frank's gonna make a deal with her.
She loves to make deals saying like, hey, I'm gonna
let me out, and I'll
let you live. I'll open the door for you to be let out of the house, but you just have to let me out. I'll let you live.
And he actually thought about it.
Okay.
But then he's like, nah. And then she was able to break out of the cage anyway. She's like, I was doing that just for fun.
Yeah, she was effing with him. I said effing.
Effing, Tim, you're allowed to say I'm fucking with her.
I can't do it.
Yeah, so basically, so after she easily breaks out and she's like choking him, Joey comes in and saves him, and she actually knocks out some of the woods on the side, and some sunlight comes in and it burns off Abigail's hand.
Oh, that was really cool.
Because up until this point, none of the traditional, like none of those traditional like garlic, crosses, steaks, onions was affecting her, but sunlight did, and so it like burns off her hand.
But then she pulls it back out of the light, and it's now in the dark, and it looks like a new hand is growing.
It starts healing. Yeah, it starts healing.
I want to be a vampire.
Exactly. I know, right? So they realize that they know what her weakness is. And so again, this is a point where they split up a way to, they're still trying to find their way out. We get a really kind of fun, crazy scene where Sammy goes with Peter. She's splitting up. But Sammy, who up until this point you think, is she okay? Is she going to be fine? Nope, because she transforms into a vampire. But the best part is that Abigail's able to control her almost like a voodoo doll, whatever she does.
Was she talking for her?
Well, whatever she was talking for her and moving for her. So she does like a dance and Sammy's doing the exact same dance. It's a great scene. It's hilarious and it's like really fun.
It's like a mime, but the actual mime was not in the room.
It is. It's very like as she does the dance, Sammy does the dance, and she's even talking for Sammy, and then she makes Sammy.
Matt, did you want to do the dance?
I wanted to do a little dance, make a little love.
Wow.
Get down tonight. Exactly. Well, so she makes Sammy as a vampire now attack Peter, and she just like bites out his throat.
It
dead.
was gross, but it looked like she was enjoying it.
Well, I mean, she's a vampire and she's sucking blood. I think they like to do that. But it's like, so poor Peter is dead, and Sammy finds Joey and Frank and attacks them.
The way it's cool because like Catherine Newton's not looking at Joey.
Yeah.
And like,
Joey,
so she's talking to her, not knowing she's a full-blown vampire.
Yeah, and then she goes to attack them, but there's a really funny death scene for Sammy because Joey holds up like a silver platter that reflects the sunlight onto her, and she just explodes.
And it looks like the two guys that directed Ready or Not really like that.
Well, okay, if you know Ready or Not, you know the ending scene when each family member explodes and it's just blood and guts goes everywhere. It's very much in the vein of that. Like you can tell it's kind of that same type of effect, but it's so over the top that it was effective.
And it was so unexpected. I was like, oh, she's blown up.
She like out of nowhere. This is the first time someone just blew up, but it's like she shines the sunlight on her and she explodes, just blood and guts everywhere. It was awesome, actually.
Right when that happened, I thought to myself, I wouldn't mind seeing this movie again.
Oh yeah, I mean it's so fun, and there's so much backstory for all the characters that again you can tell like we couldn't catch every little thing, so it would be interesting even to hear little things like the monologue that she gives about all their pasts. Like it was hard to take that all in.
As a child, I was so impressed.
What do you mean as a child? Oh, as a child actor.
I mean, not me.
You're like, as a child, as a 47-year-old child.
As a 47-year-old child, I was like, man.
This is great.
I was like, she's an actressing.
Yeah, so we're down to just Joey and Frank, and they are able to find like the control room of the place, and they find Lambert there, and it turns out Lambert,
never left.
He's a vampire too, and he tells Frank, he says, you know what, I'll help you kill Abigail, I'll turn you into a vampire, you'll be more powerful than her, and he's like, okay.
I was pretty surprised he took that deal.
I was
But then
too,
again, he's so shady,
and then
kind of made sense.
When he got bit and started throwing up blood, were you for a second thinking maybe his body was like rejecting it or something?
Well,
I thought maybe he wasn't going to turn.
That went on particularly a long time, and I don't easily get grossed out, but when he started like, again, this wasn't CGI. Like he was literally just spitting stuff out of his mouth.
That was
like,
the one point I started to feel a tiny bit queasy because what happens is he gets bit and then as he's turning, he starts throwing up blood, but then he keeps throwing up blood and keeps throwing up blood and keeps throwing up blood.
I was like, we got it.
Again, it was right on tone for the movie, this over-the-top blood gore stuff. But yeah, I was thinking maybe his body's not accepting it, but he ends up turning into a vampire.
It was a plot twist coming.
But then, twist upon twist, right when he turns to a vampire, he stakes Lambert, the guy who just turned him into a vampire, because he's just like so greedy. He's gonna rule everything himself.
Yeah, from the get-go, he was ready to hit a child. He was shady.
Yeah, no allegiance to anyone.
He's got a history of being a bad cop. So
I guess it wasn't that shocking. Yeah. So when he stakes Lambert explodes right in front of Melissa Barrera. I will say,
already covered in blood.
She had to be covered in blood and crap and stuff for probably days of shooting.
Well, I hate talking about this, but I got to. So at the beginning of the movie, her hair was like feathered, kind of like Janet from Three's Company.
Yes.
And then as the movie proceeded,
hair.
It was very like Laurie in Halloween. It just changed.
If you have not seen this, her hair, I think it was a wig because she has like bangs and shorter hair, and the bangs kept changing sizes. Like in one scene they were long enough to be pushed off to the side. In another scene they were almost like baby bangs. Then it was back to being shorter. Then it was longer. Then it was shorter. I'm like, get that wig on right.
I don't know why I have become, since doing this podcast, I've become the continuity police.
You've always been better at spotting that shit than me, but because of you, now I look for that. You were the one that got me looking at. Now I can't not. If there's a group scene, I'm constantly looking at the extras to see what they're doing because of you. It's a funny thing because now when you concentrate on extras, you can see that like they're barely even paying attention.
I'm so old that like that.
How old are you?
I'll tell you how old I am. When I used to work at the Warner Brothers Studios, they used to take Polaroids for continuity. Like,
they
kept like a rule of, but now they do it with cell phones.
The only thing I can think is that like when you get sweaty and there's stuff in your hair will change a little bit, but the bangs changed a bunch.
But when her hair was dry, I don't know, and even just the length, they're like the style changed.
It kept changing,
constantly.
yeah.
And that could be reshoots. That could be.
Well, it's 100% reshoots because I read that they had to reshoot, but what I'm wondering is they couldn't get the same wig.
They couldn't get the Chick-fil-A sauce?
No Chick-fil-A sauce? Let's talk about the husband.
Anyway, talk about that husband.
So now it's down to, it's just Frank and Joey and Abigail. And remember, if you're Joey, Melissa Barrera, you're like, okay, there's the little girl vampire who wants to kill us, and there's Frank who's now a vampire who wants to kill me. So she kind of sits back and lets Frank fight Abigail, and he actually takes a big bite of her neck and starts draining her blood. Yeah, and she's really weak, and he keeps getting more powerful because I guess if a vampire drinks a vampire's blood,
they had their fight and he bit her. He threw around Joey a lot.
Yeah, she always got thrown around, and I was like, why aren't you just killing her? Like, why do you have to keep beating her?
I don't like to see anyone, especially children, get roughed up.
Well,
but
remember,
there was a lot of that. I know they're vampires. I get it.
And also, you got to think about it this way: they didn't want to kill her because she's the final girl heroine. But she had to fight. Yeah, she got thrown. Well, it's a vampire throwing you. So.
Yeah, so I don't know. But see, if you'd survive any of that.
Exactly. If you got thrown against a wall, like I think you're done.
Dead.
You're done with one throw. Anyway, so yeah, he's fighting Abigail to be like the better vampire. He like bites her, and then I guess Abigail realizes if she teams up with Joey and gets Joey's help,
remember
she could possibly like get rid of Frank. So she puts her pinky up like the pinky promise.
I knew that would come into play
and
later.
Basically says like, if you help me like get rid of Frank, like I'll let you leave. And so what else is Joey going to do? It's either a vampire or a vampire.
Well, because they do have that connection from the beginning, and like the vampire girl, the only thing she really wants is to have the love of a parent.
Well, that's the thing. You find out during this that like she has been trying to like win over the affection of her dad. Apparently her dad, I guess, doesn't love her or pay attention to her that much, and she's been doing all this to like playing these games and getting rid of her dad's villains to impress her dad, but it's not really working.
So because Joey is a parent, they have
a little bit of a bond, and also now they have a common enemy. And remember, Tim, the enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Wow, say that again.
The enemy of your enemy is your friend.
I love that you did what I said. Because I'm a vampire.
Well, so Abigail and Joey team up. It's a little weird, but they team up and they're finally able to overpower Frank, and they stake him, and he blows up again all over Melissa Barrera, all over the little girl, all over the entire room.
And then when you think it's over and they're covered in blood, there's someone at the door.
Well, yes. You think, okay, Abigail now thanks Joey. She's going to let her leave. And then someone appears at the door. Who is it? It's Abigail's dad. Who's
your daddy?
He's not a crime boss, or sorry, he was a crime boss, but he's also like the head vampire. Very Lost Boys is.
And I thought that was Nurse Nosnu.
And Nurse Nosnu. You mean
that was Nurse Snoffus?
Nurse
That was Snuffleupagus.
Nosferatu. Yeah. But her dad is played by Matthew Good, who's a known actor, and he comes in.
Oh my God, that was Matthew Good?
That was Matthew Good.
Holy
Wasn't he looking good?
No.
Well, I mean, he's aged a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was the guy in The Single Man. Did you see A Single Man?
I didn't.
I saw it 5 times.
In
the theater. I saw it 5 times.
Wait, or maybe I did see it. What's it about? A single man.
Who's that? God.
Who's calling?
Who's calling? What's that line in the trailer for Scream 2? Here we go, girlfriend.
It's time, girlfriend.
It's time, girlfriend. No, Matthew Good is the boyfriend in the Mark Jacobs directed A Single Man.
God,
Anyways, I've always thought he was super hot.
Well, he plays her dad, and he comes in, and he's like, what is like a human doing alive? And he's basically going to kill Joey, and his daughter, Abigail, says, no, she helped me, let her go. And she forces her dad to let her go.
He was reluctant.
And he was reluctant, but he does let her go. But the best part is this ending scene. We have Melissa Barrera covered head to toe in blood, guts, goop,
ready to go to the club.
She walks outside. She gets in like the van they used to come over there, and she takes out, we forgot to mention it because she's a recovering drug addict, she has this like lollipop that she'll always go to just so it's like to have a fix of something.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's like because it's like a little sugar fix. So she just goes into the van, sits down, takes out the lollipop, and just takes like a lick.
She drives away.
Oh, she drives away, but she does take a lick. Yeah. And then she drives away.
Lick, she sucks on it.
She puts it in her mouth. What does she do, Tim?
She sucks on it.
Wait, and then she does what?
She
puts it in her mouth.
Yeah, she puts it in her mouth.
She puts it in her mouth, and there we go. X. No. And then she drives off, and then credits. And so that was Abigail, and it was a ton of fun.
I get the big sign. I always say during the movie, if I ever want to see it again, that's a sign of a good movie.
And it's true. And I will say there are movies that can be good, and we've talked about this many times, but they can be good and powerful and make an impact and do what they're supposed to do. But you're like, ooh, I'm one and done. I don't want to see this again. Like, it wasn't particularly entertaining.
I thought it was more
just
fun
good.
than remember Barbarian? We saw it more than once.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than Barbarian.
It's a certain type of film. It is a fun, and it's like the Scream movies or Ready or Not. It's very much in the vein of Radio Silence. They do these fun, entertaining horror movies that balance comedy and horror. I mean, it's why they probably made sense for Scream.
Educate me on this. Are the two directors known as Radio Silence?
Yes. Sorry. So Radio Silence is the name of like them together. They're
I thought that,
two
but
of them.
I needed to clarify.
They're like if you and I are Happy Horror Time, but individually we're Matt Emmert and Tim Murdoch.
Right, but people call us HHT.
So like if we started directing films, it'd be like directed by Happy Horror Time.
Oh, that's fun. Let's do that.
So that's okay. Let's do that.
Okay.
So Radio Silence, but like it's very much in that vein. Like you have a good time watching this, and yes, there's tons of violence and tons of gore, but it's fun. Like I don't think anybody's going to go into this and be like, oh, it's not like you're seeing someone get brutally massacred. Right. It's more that they're blowing up and blood and guts are going everywhere.
Thing. Like if you watch a movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or
that's a little bit
like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Hatchets. It's more in the line of Hatchet.
But I mean, I would say this violence is even more in the line a little bit of Terrifier, like so over the top that it's not going to make you uncomfortable because it's so over the top.
At one point, at no point was I uncomfortable. I was sitting there believing everything. I believe vampires are real.
Vampires are real. And the cast is so strong. Like every player in this like kidnapping team was like had their own individual identity, played it well, was great. I've already told you about the little girl being great. Like it was just really well done. And so, yeah.
I was mesmerized. I've said this on past podcasts about certain actresses that I find mesmerizing. The lead actress, Joey.
Melissa Barrera.
Yeah, I always call her Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera.
Hannah B from The Bachelor. Mm-hmm. Her face is so beautiful. She has Kardashian eyes.
So what you're saying, Tim, is you're straight.
I am. I've been meaning to tell you.
I think you should.
I'm going to start dating girls. So if there's any girls listening,
can you imagine? Hey, ladies, you listening?
Oh God, I'd be the worst straight man.
She's very beautiful. She has a very striking beauty. I can see what you're saying. I was going to say a very sleeping beauty.
She's such a sleeping beauty.
Yeah, but I mean, it just was such a strong cast, and I really think that I was worried this film was going to be one of those like it has so much hype, but it doesn't live up to it. And there's a lot of films like that.
Because we did see a movie. I want to say maybe 1 year, 2 years ago about the girl that went to the castle. God, it wasn't great. God. I can't remember the title.
Yes,
it was
I can't remember either.
Not memorable.
But that wasn't, at least I wasn't that hyped out. I was worried that people were going to be hyping this movie up and then it wasn't going to live up to it.
That was a vampire film.
Like even, I'll have to admit, like we just did it, but Late Night with the Devil, even though I liked it, I didn't love it.
Same.
And the hype was telling me you should love this, but I didn't feel it.
But that is one movie I'm fine seeing once.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if you told me we're going to go see Abigail again today, I'd be totally up for it.
Same.
Like, this is a movie that you're going to want to buy the Blu-ray, see the deleted scenes, watch multiple times. Again, it's very much like
Matt,
Ready or Not.
I don't know about all that.
You know, hey, Matt, that's a little bit. But it's not a shock that these guys did Scream. Like, I mean, Scream's a little bit more grounded.
I could see the resemblance to Scream because because of the fighting at the end. That was very the ending of part 5 and part 6.
Yeah, and they kept the gore in Scream 2 not being over the top because they were, they wanted to be a Scream movie that's not like this craziness.
The ending of part 6 in New York when Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son, I can't remember his
Mason
name.
Gooding.
Yes. He
gets stabbed a million times.
He was stabbed like 12 times. I was like,
that is
okay,
ridiculous. He should have been dead.
Is he a vampire?
Maybe they forgot what movie. Maybe they're like, oh shit, are we doing Abigail or Scream?
Maybe they got confused.
It could have been.
Yeah, they were like radio silence.
They're like, we haven't heard from them in a while. I know it's been like radio silence. Get it, Tim?
No.
Okay, so what that
Break
means
it
is
down.
radio silence when you like aren't talking at all, and like so their name is like I'm not saying anything. Got it. So it's been radio silence.
Good one.
I wonder how they came up with that. I would love to talk to them, and also like they worked with one of the writers of Scream 5 and Scream 6. It was Guy Busick was a co-writer of this. He was a co-writer of Scream 5 and 6.
Guy Ritchie,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, I saw a Guy Ritchie movie the other day. With I did.
Really? Well, I watched The Simple Life of Nicole Richie.
It was in the theater. I actually went to the theater.
What movie?
It was starred Henry Cavill, who played Superman. Yeah, and then like that big guy that plays Jack Reacher.
Oh, God,
I know. It's all these like straight guys, and it's a straight movie, and I saw it.
Yeah, I bet you loved it.
Well, my brother wanted
now that
to
you
see
want
it.
to date Melissa Barrera, I think you're going to be into.
So that's what I'm into.
And now, next thing you know, Tim's going to be at the gym, being like, "Hey, bro, how much you lift?"
I need to get back in the gym.
Oh, you and me both.
I had some birthday cake.
Did you have birthday cake?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had it was that Snickers cake that was so good.
Can I tell you something?
Yes, tell me.
Because they're not listening to this. This guy that I went out with like a long time ago, he text messaged me this morning. This is probably something I should say off the air.
No, tell us. Everyone wants to know.
He goes, "Hey Tim, how's your body?"
How's your body?
How's your body?
Oh, and you mean like the day after your birthday?
Yeah, like
you should have been like fit, trim.
No, I wrote dad bod. I can't sell. I mean, because if it's revealed, they're gonna know.
I was all excited because I got hit on at the bar.
I know. I
by
had
someone who
seats.
that someone came up to me and first off, like I don't go to that many bars anymore, and I was there with Jacob, my boyfriend.
You even said to me, you could list on one hand.
What?
How many times
I've gone to a bar since the pandemic? Yeah. So some guy comes up and is like, "Hey, are you single?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, no." And he's like, "Oh, it's not for me. It's for my friend. He's interested."
Okay,
I'm like, "Oh, well, thank
the
you."
Blonde one?
One of the blondes.
Okay, I went out with that guy 20 years ago.
Oh my God. I love how if you're listening to this, you're like, "Oh my God, is the Abigail review done?" And now we're just talking about a birthday.
Done with Abigail.
No, but it was you know what? It's nice at 44 to feel wanted, but I'm
that
very
the guy
happy
that went out with me
Jacob.
20 years ago didn't even. Well, actually, he did say happy birthday.
Yeah.
So
hey, how's your bod?
How's your bod?
Wait, Tim, can you end this episode with your famous catchphrase?
Oh, sure. What's the tea?
No, that's the tea. Oh. It's so famous, you don't even know it.
I don't. Well, because you
give me a no Chick-fil-A sauce.
Okay. No Chick-fil-A sauce.
Okay, that is Abigail. Everyone, go see it. It's definitely worth it, and see it in the theater. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of Happy Horror Time.
If you'd like to support the podcast, please sign up to be a patron at www.patreon.com/happyhorrortime. As a patron, you get access to all our bonus content, which now includes 2 new bonus episodes every month, a monthly after show mini episode, access to our Discord community so you can chat with us directly, and the chance to review a film with us in one of our bonus episodes.
Patrons also get all our regular episodes ad-free and a day early, our monthly newsletter, the chance to vote in polls, and autographed Happy Horror Time stickers.
I'm Matt Emmert.
And I'm Tim Murdoch.
And we hope you have a happy horror time.